Hi, welcome to the Avid Knits podcast. My name is Sarah and I'm going to be your host today. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry, both as Avid Knits. There is a Ravelry group and I really hope you'll come join us over there. Today is June 1st already. You guys, where did it go? And this is not my normal podcast day. This is a Saturday morning. I'm usually kind of a Wednesday evening kind of girl, but I'm thinking about trying new podcast days, maybe new recording days. I find that I knit less during the weekends because my husband is home, and I usually want to spend the time with him, and we're usually pretty busy. So I get most of my knitting done on weeknights after everybody goes to bed, or during weekday mornings, before my son and I do school. We do little things. He does projects during the morning that he doesn't really need me to handhold him for. I'm just there to answer questions, which is great. And we're starting to get into that age. He's going to be 8 this year. We're starting to get into that age where he can kind of, the main lesson I have to be there for, I have to really be part of. But for the most part, it's when it's workbook activities or when it's hands-on activities, he does not need nor want my help. So I'm really just there to answer questions. So what that means is that Monday through Wednesday, I'm just hitting a stride on getting progress done on projects. And so whenever I try to record for podcasts, I don't really have anything. So it's been a little over 2 weeks since my last podcast after I got back from Portland. And that's just because I didn't make enough progress to talk to you guys about any of it. So yeah, anyway, here we be. I am going to insert a break right here. I left a project that I am working on in the other room, and I want to go grab that. So hold that right back. And we're back. Thank you for your patience. I appreciate that. So just real quick, I want to talk about our make-along that we have going on in the Ravelry group and on Instagram. It is called the Summer Sun Make-Along. It does run until July 31st. So quick rundown, summer tops or layering pieces, DK, lighter than DK weight, so sport weight, fingering weight, lace weight, and 3/4 sleeves or less. So it can be anything from the new Love Note sweater from Tin Can Knits to the Novelli tee to the Ripple Bralette by Jessie May. You guys pick one and let me know. You can double dip. So Asylum Fibers has the Crop It Like It's Hot Cal. I think that's still going on. I could be totally wrong. So if it is, I'm really sorry. But Kristen of Woolenvine has the year-long garment knit along. There are a couple of others. There's a summer top knit along. I cannot remember. Junk Yarn, maybe? It might be Kemper from Junk Yarn. I can't remember exactly, and I don't know the dates for that. So those are a couple of suggestions that you could double dip into. And tag me. I'd really like to see what you're doing. Yeah, okay, so this is the second time I've recorded because last time I did 13 minutes of absolute rambling. There was a spider on my window and I got really distracted watching him. He was between the glass and the screen, so then I was kind of like, well, do I have a crack in my screen? Is there a slit in my screen I need to go fix? Can he get out? I feel bad now. He's one of the little garden spiders. We have a bunch of them in our yard, so. Yeah, they're harmless and they don't do anything. They're just there to eat bugs, which is, in my opinion. So, yeah. Okay, anyway, let's get back on it. Quick weather update, courtesy of Stranded, courtesy of Amy Florence. We have to have a weather update. It's a typical days every day. So every day in where I live in Houston, we have clouds in the morning, and then they burn off at about noon, and then we get clouds again in the evening, so you get really pretty sunsets. And the last couple of days, it's supposed to have been pouring rain for the last 3 days of this week, and we haven't gotten any of it. We went, if you're from Houston, we went down to Kirby and 59, just off Westheimer last night for pizza. If you've never been to Luna Pizzeria out there is also one on Westheimer. If you've never been there, I highly suggest that. That's great pizza. I don't like pizza, so it has to be a very... It's that food that if you go out and you try a new place and you're disappointed in it, I won't eat pizza for another 2 months. I just don't care for it. And I'm finding out that that's because I don't really like red sauce. I don't like an overabundance of cheese. I really like vegetables. I'm really picky on crust. Don't ask, you guys. We did that yesterday, and they had a little bit of rain before we got there, but we haven't gotten any rain. And I remember when we lived up north, we used to think, oh, Cyprus has all the rain. It'll be great when we move there. We don't know. We got all the rain for Harvey. I'll give him that, but we haven't really gotten any since then. Obviously you've had rain since then. That was silly. We have had less than I would have thought we would have considering where we live. So anyway. Yeah. All right. Finished objects. I only have one finished object. Yeah, so sorry. I'm going to cut that part out. I don't know what happened to me right there. Whew, podcasting. It's hard, you guys. It's hard. I'm only on episode 7. Give me a break. Yeah, so where was I going with all of this? Yeah, during my monogamous knit time, I sample knit, okay? I can, a sweater for me, knock out a sweater in under 2 weeks. Like, easily, I can put that out there. With school and everything, making sure everything's fine. I don't actually know if I finished this thought, so I'm just gonna bear with me here. Add in some cables, it takes me a little bit longer. Add in a man-size sweater, and that took me a lot longer than what I had anticipated it would. And then it was done in pieces, and I had to seam it. So, because I did you'll remember the bobble sweater that I did the little cabin pullover by Caitlin Hunter as another commission at the same time that I was doing my Svenson sweater. I'll put pictures of both of those right here. So all the manipulating of the worsted weight yarn was really, really rough on my hands. So I was taking entire days off just because I couldn't knit. I was getting so much pain up through here and through my thumbs and stuff. I know that Carson Demers has a ergonomics class, and I know there are plenty of books and stuff. Some YouTube information on how to hold your needles, or I'm good with posture, but apparently how I hold my needles in my hands must be bad for you. I've been having a lot of irritation the last couple of weeks. So yeah, I need to kind of figure that out. But it is done, finally. I cast this on March 9th, and I finished it. I blocked it, so we'll take out 2 days. So I would have finished it like the 27th of May or whatever. It took a little bit longer to block than it should have because when my husband leaves for work in the morning, often he will go through and he'll come in my yarn room and he'll turn off my fan. And I don't know why he does that. I don't know why he can't just leave it alone, but apparently he seems to think that it's wasting electricity or something. And so now my knits, the fan is being turned off at like 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning or something, so it's not, that's like 7 hours, 4 or 5 hours, I'm sorry, of drying time it could have had that I didn't notice the fan was off after I got up. Whatever. Anyway. Okay, so this is my Svenson sweater, and the camera is not going to pick up the brown. It never does. I will try to insert a picture here of what this actually looks like. My sister-in-law brought over, she and her husband have a DSLR Nikon, and she brought that over last night to let me try it, and I took pictures outside, and I have 1 out of like 11 pictures that actually showed up true to color. So that's frustrating. I'm going to try to edit them and try to get the color out, but it's basically a hot cocoa color. And then when the sunlight hits it, you get little bits. It almost looks like caramel. So it's very, very pretty. This is Red Stag Fiber, who is a newer dyer located here in Texas. And it is the worsted weights. Is 100% superwash merino, I believe. And the colorway, I think, is called Welsh Mantle. So this is a man's sweater, so it's quite big on me. If it's my husband, okay, I wouldn't knit it for him. It's not really his style. So he put it on yesterday so I could get pictures of details and stuff. But it doesn't fit him style-wise, I guess. Like, it fits him fine as far as sizing goes. This yarn is really beautiful. It's really lovely to work with. It's really wonderful. The colors are amazing. It is dyed. We have a local yarn store in Montgomery called The Modern Skein, and she has a wonderful online presence. That's kind of how she started, I think, was selling yarn online, and then became a storefront. Her husband is the dyer behind Red Stag, and it's very, very beautiful yarn. I have one caution regarding their worsted, just one caution, and it's just a property of the yarn. I would not, personally, use this again in a sweater like this. first off, this sweater is seriously heavy. And so because it is heavy, it stretches out all over proportions because the weight of it pulls itself down. It is a fantastic fabric. It's super soft. It's really squishy. It's really warm. This yarn, you guys, this yarn stretches like you would not believe. Like, I can show you. So, like, it's in cables, so it should be kind of chunked in, right? So here it is just plain, and here it is when it's stretched. It has so much give. And to be absolutely honest, it has enough give that it was partially why my hands ended up aching while I was knitting, was trying to maintain that tension and trying to get out some of that stretch as it was knitted so that I didn't knit in a bunch of that. And as you can see from what I did with the sleeve, it still has a ton of it. That being said, it is a wonderful worsted option. I would just be considerate about what you're going to use it for, or know that it will grow in that way. But yeah, I am super, super pleased with it. I used just shy. She wound me off 10 skeins. And because I alternated, she gave me 12 skeins, she wound off 10. And because I alternated, I had to break into an 11th to maintain the alternating skein pattern or whatever, so that I didn't end up with any pooling. And I still have maybe 1 full skein left. So I would have used probably 10 full skeins in this. There were a ton of ends to weave in. It is knit in pieces and then sewn together. I found the seaming to be really fast and kind of fun, actually. It's really satisfying to match your stitch and get your kind of corset lace thing, I guess, for 12 or 13 rows, and then be able just to pull and it all comes right together. It's really satisfying. My husband had fun with that. He helped me out a little bit with that, which was great. Yeah, but that's my finished object, and I'm super happy that it's done. I'm really excited about it, and it's just gorgeous. It was a lot of fun to knit. So, yeah, I guess I have 2 more finished objects, but they're socks, and you've seen, the ones, so, I'm just going to show them to you real quick. And so these are my PDX carpet socks. These are from my friend Camille, who lives in Portland, and I just want to go visit her. They do still need heels. I'm just going to cut them in, and then I'm going to send them off. So I'm sure that I probably won't even show them again on the podcast. I have an orange that matches this color right here. I'm just going to pop in an afterthought heel. No big deal. And then those will go out. And then these, I knit her a pair of these socks. I knitted her a pair of socks in this same colorway a while ago and had a bunch left over because I did shorties, and so I wanted a pair for myself. This is the Hagrid colorway by Nomadic Yarns. I don't have sock blockers, and I'm not going to buy any, so you guys are just going to have to deal with me trying to make them look pretty. So this is the Hagrid color by Nomadic Yarns. This is on her sparkle sock. You can see all the little, it looks like tinsel. Like, her stellina isn't, I don't know how to describe that. A lot of sparkle socks that you see, it's more like there's sparkles inside of the color. This is more like fuzzies that stick out it looks like tinsel on a tree, you guys. Anyway, it's fine. They're not pokey or itchy or anything like that. They're really nice. Yeah, and then I used Sweet Georgia Tough Love sock on the heel. I cannot think of the colorway. I bought that in Idaho in what year did we get married? 2015, maybe 2016. So yeah, no idea. And that brings me to the end of my finished object section. Yeah, the sweater was my big one. I've been really trying to knock that out. And so I'm really happy to have that off the needles. And that's my big accomplishment for the podcast today. So, for works in progress, this one is living in my Knitted Niceties sweater bag. This is my Women of Science bag, and I really love it. It's a perfect size. It's nice and squishy. This is another commission. This is the Zweig by Caitlin Hunter. It is knit out of Amanda Hope yarn, and I am, of course, in the middle of a row. So I literally just finished the lace yoke, and I'm starting to add the main color back in right here. There'll be a little bit of a color work band here in a little bit, but I just haven't gotten around that far yet. My colors I'm using are navy right here, and then the contrast color is called Regatta. And we'll see if we can open up that lace a little bit. So it's got blues and purple and a pink. Every now and then you get a little splash of gold. It's super, super pretty. Y'all, this yarn. If you haven't had a chance to work with me at Wendy's Yarn, the yarn company is called Amanda Hope Yarn. This is her Aussie extra fine Aussie fingering, and it is mulesing free. I highly recommend this. It feels like it has cashmere in it. It's just absolutely gorgeous, and her colorways are really, really pretty. She has really wonderful tonality in her solids. Her speckles are very nice. Yeah, so I'm really enjoying that. Wendy's a real sweetheart. So that is coming along really quickly, really fine. That's my second Zwag, so the pattern is very familiar to me. I'm really enjoying that knit. I have a sweater on the go for me. So this is not a commission. This is just for me. This is pure selfish knitting, and I'm super excited. And it is my Hay sweater, which is by Claire Mountain, and it's in Lane Magazine issue something. I'll put it right here. So I finished the front. I'm sorry. You knit to the armholes. It's bottom up. You knit to the armholes and then do the front and the back separately. So I did the front, and now I have my needle on the back, and I'm trying to knit up. So I'm trying to figure out how to hold it up so that everything looks like it should. That's basically what I'm trying to do here. Okay, so I finished the front. So it separates you for the left and the right fronts, and I just got it all on stitch holders right here. And then the back, I have it on needles right now, and I'm knitting up so that I can join. Your lace panel continues right here and separates to go around your armhole, which is a lot of fun. It's a pretty detail. This is knit out of Yarn on the House in the Little Brother base, which is a cashmere base. It's a cashmere nylon. Merino cashmere nylon. Sorry, it's an MCN base. Yeah, and I got this at DFW Fiber Fest, so I'm really excited to be able to be using that right away. Sorry. Houston Fiber Fest, for all of you in the Texas area, Houston Fiber Fest starts on the 21st, maybe? The 21st of June, so it'll be the week after Father's Day. It will be held at the Berry Center out here in Cypress, which is off of 290 and Barker Cypress, right across from Lone Star College. You guys should come out. You should come out. It's supposed to be bigger this year than it has been the last couple. I didn't go to it last year. I didn't knit last year, really. I took a bunch of time off. I was in a funk, I guess. Anyway. But I've heard that it's supposed to be bigger. I was looking at the vendors list, and it's got a lot of really, really good people are coming. So, yeah, I'm going to be there helping set up, and I'll probably stick around for a lot of it. It's right down the road for me, so why not? Yeah, and I hope you guys come out for it. That'll be a lot of fun. Yeah, so my next work in progress is a gift. This is for my husband. These are his Father's Day socks. My husband really likes socks. And he loves my knitting, but he's not that person whose style really accommodates handmade. I'm working on that. I think it's just kind of a matter of finding something he really likes, even if it's just an outer piece, you know. But he's pretty simple. He's a very simple person, and so the way that hand knits fit aren't always his favorite. I'll find something he likes. I'm working on it. I have a sweater on the go for him. It was supposed to be an anniversary gift last year, but I didn't start it soon enough, and then I wasn't knitting last year, and it was a real pain. So I will knock that out, hopefully, at the end of this summer. Our anniversary is in October. So anyway, his socks are going to be, this is also a Nomadic Yarns colorway. I'm on a Harry Potter kick right now, because my son is 8 and has seen Harry Potter for the first time, and now he's into it, which means I'm into it again. And I've never been a big Potterhead, I guess, is that what they're called? I've never been really big on Harry Potter. But it's fun. It's fun to see it through your kids' eyes. I read the books the first time when I was like 20 maybe. So it wasn't lost upon me, but I was in Korea, I was in the military, so it was a little bit out of my wheelhouse at that time. And the internet was just coming on, or just starting to be like a really, not just starting, but I was late to the internet craze apparently. And so I didn't have a big community that talked about it and talked about how cool it was, or, told you the little fun facts about it or whatnot. So anyway, my son's into Harry Potter. Instagram will give you any kind of connection you could ever think you needed. So Nomadic Yarns, Ashley, does wonderful Harry Potter colorways, and so it's kind of my goal to collect a few of those. I just ordered one from her. I'm pretty sure I got the Sirius colorway, which is one I've been wanting for a really long time. Anyway, this is Lupin, so it is named after Professor Remus Lupin. He is the one in year 3, and subsequent years he turns into a werewolf. This is his colorway. And so here's my sock so far. This is on her Brit sock, which is a BFL nylon mix, and I like it a lot better than I like the sparkle sock. My personal opinion, I like the texture of it better. I think my Sirius colorway I ordered on her regular twisty sock, which is a 75/25 merino nylon, so I'm anxious to try that and see what I think about that one. So anyway, Lupin, Brit sock, Father's Day socks. My husband likes ankle socks, so I basically need to start putting the heel in right now, and I really want to do a brown heel. I really want to do a heel right here. Apparently this summer is the wrong time to want brown. All of my go-to dyers, all of them are out of brown right now. I know that Woolberry has a very pretty brown. Hue Loco has a very pretty, but they use for sock set, like minis, and so I've been trying to catch those, and they post up a picture of them to say they have sock sets in the shop, and by the time I get there, that set's sold out. So yeah, if anybody knows of someone who has a really nice, like coppery caramel brown, somebody let me know, because I'm running out of time. So anywho, I've been thinking about just knitting these and then putting in an afterthought heel. I don't know how that'll fit him. He's okay with the German short row, but I know that the heel flap and gusset fits him better. So, yeah, there's my thought process on that. Those are my Father's Day socks for my husband. Yeah, so I have one plan coming up, and it is also going to be a gift knit. I don't know. I can't think of something I want for me, apparently, so I'm just gonna knit for other people for a while. I like the Novelli tee. I don't know that I would wear it. Yeah. I don't see why I wouldn't. I probably would, but I have a girlfriend that I know will wear it and will love it, and she has commented on it a couple of times. I told her I would make her one. It'll be the first garment that I have done for Camille. Usually it's just accessories. She's super knit worthy. I'm really excited about doing it. And then I kind of feel like it'll give me a, you know what I mean? Like it'll let me see if I might like one too. So she picked the main color yarn, which is the yarn that was used in the sample. So this is Cozy Posy in her honeycomb colorway. This is her card. So she is in Canada, I believe, before I lie to you. Yeah, in Canada. Her name is Antonella, and it is, like I said, her honeycomb colorway, and it's this beautiful golden color that it's just stunning. So this is her single ply base. I'm going to use this as the main color, and then the Novelli tee has a color work bottom band. So I'm going to be using Graphite by Hedgehog Fibers, and I think when I do it, if I don't like it, I might do a charcoal instead. I haven't really decided. Or maybe a purple. Anyway, this is Embers at Dawn by 6 and 7. This is going to be my background color for the bottom. So here will be the main color. This will be the bottom band. And then there's color work over this color. And I was going to do it in the graphite, but I'm looking at them all together now. And I think I might pick something softer. So I might do something in this wine color. Or I might do a charcoal and pull out some of these gray tones that are right here. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. So I'll start that shortly, sometime, maybe. I will. I'll start it. I just don't know when it'll be. But yeah, okay, I think that's it. That's all of my knitting content. So if that's what you were here for, thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate that you came and spent some time with me. I'm going to get into life stuff, and I don't have much to report, really. I kind of went over it through the show, I suppose. Yeah, I really don't have anything, to be absolutely honest. My Father's Day is in a couple of weeks, and then birthday season starts for my family. So my sister-in-law's birthday is at the end of June. I have a niece's birthday between Father's Day and the end of June. I have my sister-in-law's birthday at the end of June. I have 2 nieces mid-July. They're both the same day. Somebody's at the end of July. My son, my brother-in-law are in August. I'm missing people, okay? We have a bunch of birthdays coming up. The summer season is really busy for us, so basically kids get out of school and then we spend every week together until they go back. It's fine. My husband's family is really cool. They're really good people, so. Yeah, I'm hoping to get down to Galveston a couple times here pretty shortly. It's not like, oh my god, great beach for swimming or anything like that, but it has that virtue of having nothing. If you can stare out into the expanse of nothing. And since we live in a very sprawling city, so kind of everywhere you go. We did last weekend find a nature center which has acreage of conservation land and trails and excuse me. I think one of their longest trails is like 3.5 miles or something like that. Unfortunately, it's right off of the freeway, so you can still hear the cars. But you can look around, and if you put your headphones in, you would never know. So that would be... We might go do that again sometime. We're looking forward to checking out some of the breweries out here this summer. We're hoping to do the caverns. My son hasn't gotten to do those yet. Go, please. Okay. Yeah, so we're hoping to be able to do things like that. And just spend some time, as a family. I find that my husband works a lot, and so we get really caught up in the day-to-day, like, okay, let's go. You get really caught up in the rat race, and you kind of forget to be present for each other. And I knit a lot, and I can knit and talk to you. I can absolutely knit and talk to you. I really value obsessive hobbies. I like things that I can lose myself in. I like things that take a while. I like a process. So everything that I do, whether it be crosswords or knitting or puzzles or crossword knitting puzzle, but you know what I mean. Like everything I do is rather intensive, and it's fine whenever you want to have those days where you're sitting next to each other and you're both doing your own thing, and that's not a problem at all. We do a lot of that, but I think we do enough of that sometimes you forget to be present for each other. Sometimes you forget to put everything down and talk to each other, like, oh, you're here, I've been wanting you to be here, and we get swept up with what everybody else is doing, and we make plans when we should have taken a date night, or, we sit next to each other and watch a movie when we should have turned on some music and sat and had a drink and a conversation, and, so we're going to try to be a little bit more mindful about our, our present times. Oh, last weekend, for Memorial Day. Okay, yeah, I blocked that out. Memorial Day is a really, really difficult time for me, which is one of the hugest reasons I did not podcast. So most of you know that my first husband, my son's father, was active duty military. He was not killed in combat, but, our anniversary was the 23rd of May, and that for us at that time, happened to be Memorial Day weekend. So Memorial Day is rough, not only for what it symbolizes, because my whole family has been military and has a very different meaning for me than it does for a lot of people. So because it's a hard time for me, my husband suggested, why don't we do something together? We'll stay home, but, we need to do something together, and we've been trying to find hobbies that we both enjoy, which is hard now that we don't have motorcycles, we don't ride anymore. So anyway, we've just been really kind of revamping our relationship, kind of really thinking about what it is that we need. And so when I was in Portland, my friend Camille had a really beautiful and simple bench on her front porch, and I asked her, I was like, I can tell you made it, would you give me the plan? And she did. She sent me the plan. It was super easy. It's 11 2x4s cut into a couple of different, into 2 different lengths, and then you just screw them all together. It's great. And it's absolutely gorgeous. I'll put a picture of it in here. We love it. Our bench that we had out there was kind of getting to a point where if you sat down on it, like it kind of moved. So when there were two of you on it, it definitely kind of moved. And we were like, all right, we need to retire this before it drops both of us on the flagstone. And that's going to be painful. The hardest part about this bench, you guys, has been finding cushions. We live in Texas. It is beginning of summer. How we don't have options is beyond me. And then the options we do have are, expensive? Like I spent more on cushions. I could have spent more on cushions easily, like double what I spent on wood. So I did finally find some really good priced, some really well-priced options, and we're really happy with how it turned out and stuff. But if you choose to make this, I will link it in the show notes. If you choose to make this bench, she does tell you to scale it for your cushions. I suggest finding your cushions first. Just to make sure that you know what you're doing. The bench we did, it's kind of a sofa size, so we really enjoy it, but it's like 25 inches deep, which is good, where it gives me the ability to put tuck my feet up or whatever. I can sit out there and really enjoy myself. It's big enough for 3 people to sit on it. You're not doing this number all the time. But I kind of wish we would have made it a little bit shallower just to be able to find more cost-effective options on seating. Anywho, that being said, we built that last week. I made it through Memorial Day. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go. I will talk to you guys next time. I really hope to see you there.